Yo. What is going on, everybody? What is good? My eyes! Okay, bro, don't say ew! Turn the cam off. Yikes. Jump scare. Okay, if I talk like this the whole stream, is it fine? You guys don't mind this? That's better keep your hand there. Okay. It's gone. All right, you guys brought it up. Well, you said it was Poggy's AF, and then somebody else said was a banger major. Not gonna lie, Panaman said that. So how many of you guys actually watched the major? How many of you guys watched? It may probably start to finish. You watched like 80% of the matches. Someone said me. The whole thing, me. I am actually extremely sad I didn't get to watch it, because I heard how much of a banger it absolutely was, and I've heard a lot of positivity from the major itself. I know the past couple times I talked about Rocket League, it was actually very negative. Believe it or not, my hands were tied. I was actually forced to be negative. You know, I was really trying to be positive. But actually, somehow, some way, Rocket League has managed to kind of, I don't want to say turn it around, but there has been a little bit more positivity recently, so that's good. After 36 straight L's in a row, they've had about 5 or 6 W's. So, I mean, the ratio is still a little bit off. They have had a couple of W's lately. And let's start off with an absolute big one. The RLCS major that just happened. Copenhagen. People loved it. And I don't know if people loved it because the event was so good, because the gameplay was absolutely top tier. I only got to watch on Thursday, but a lot of people were, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they said those matches were really good. There were a lot of hype matches to look forward to and to watch, and it just went well. You know, there weren't any crazy big issues, which is good. It was I would say a pretty normal major. It's just that the gameplay was stellar, so it made it that much easier to actually enjoy it. So let's talk about the major specifically, not about the gameplay, not about anything else, but actually not even anything really related to the major. Let's talk about drops. They gave drops back. They have drops on their channel. This is the first time in, like, I don't know, a year. It seems like for some reason their drops just disappeared after Worlds or something, and then they just didn't have them anymore. But they got them back, and initially people didn't like it all that much because this is how it was. You had to watch Rocket League, EGA, Mina, all these channels, and it says and more. They also gave drops to content creators as well. I know AlphaCap got them. I got them for Thursday, the day I was watching and streaming it, and I'm sure many others got drops as well for these. But the drops themselves was watch 30 minutes and claim, watch 1 hour and claim, watch 2 hours, up to 15 hours. You had to watch 15 hours of RLCS to get that final reward, which is 12 awards. There's 12 rewards total, and people didn't like that all too much, but drops are back, so they were kind of happy. The best part about it is they actually messed this up. So you needed to watch 15 hours to get the drops, but somehow, some way, somebody messed it up. And actually, you could just get all the drops at once as long as you watch 2 hours. So this is just somebody watching. They watched for, about 25 minutes or so, and they were able to complete all of their drops after 2 hours and then claim them all. And what happened after that is, since people already claimed the drops, they had to remake the drops thing so then you could get 12 more drops. They messed it up so bad that it actually was good for the consumer. It was good for us. Let's go. That's what we've been waiting for. That is what it's all about, baby. As long as you claim them, because there were also a lot of people who just didn't claim them, and now I don't think they're claimable anymore. Here is another W that they have posted. And this one actually came 2 weeks ago or so. This is before the major. And they announced where the next major is, where the major number 2 is. They even have dates, June 20th through the 23rd. Everything you need to know is here. I ain't clicking that, but they got a whole hype video. And it's back in London. It's back in the Copper Box, baby. Some people, again, didn't like that they reuse venues, but honestly, I don't mind it. Maybe people don't like it that they reuse venues because they're not from those places where the venues are happening, but I don't really care. Anywhere in Europe, like if this was in London or, I don't know, somewhere in Spain or Germany or France, it wouldn't really make a difference to me because I'm watching from home anyway, so I don't care that they didn't change the venue. But maybe for people who are wanting to travel to the event, it's completely different, which I would completely understand. But also, not just that, they didn't just announce London. A week after that, or 6 days, they announced that the World Championship's coming back to Fort Worth. Dickies Arena, once again, the same venue. Which, again, I don't mind. I actually prefer that one because getting to Fort Worth is not very hard. Let's go! That's good. And it's the fact that we know how many months early. I think it's in September. So we know like 5 months ahead of time. Isn't that crazy? Being able to plan a trip, not within a month time span like they did for Copenhagen. They said, hey, by the way, our major is in 27 days. Hope you'll be there. They gave 2 months to get to London, and they gave 5 months to get to Texas. So they're getting better. They're announcing stuff early. They've got the venues locked in early, which is just good. Let's talk about a way to get money. Actually, I don't know if these are free or not. I don't know. But let's talk about a way to get money from people and the consumer. We're talking about decals, baby. Here's another thing they did that's kind of a W. Kind of a W in a way. I don't know. Is this free? Were these free? I don't have any idea. Chat will tell me though. But anyway, they had these Copenhagen major decals, which were not free according to chat. Does anybody know how much they were? At the minimum you have to spend to get them. And the decals are pretty cool. I'd honestly give it a W. It's very nice to have major themed decals. Hopefully they continue this and it's not just this major. But you know, this is the W, I would say. The next step they have to take towards this is be like, hey, now 30% of the revenue we make from this decal will be put towards the esport or the prize pool or towards players or whatever. Something to where it creates some sort of benefit towards the actual esport instead of Epic's pockets. Would that happen? I don't think so. But one can dream. Am I wrong for thinking they should host an off-season LAN in like Japan to hype the esport up there? The way it's not a super important event, but super cool for the players and a good advertisement. The only reason I don't think they should is because they clearly have shown, well, look, everybody can make the argument that yes, of course they do have the money, but they've shown that they're not willing to spend the money. So I would say no, because that would be, in their eyes, it would be a great money sink and a great failure because they're trying not to lose so much money. So hosting a LAN in Japan would be an incredible loss of money. That would actually probably be the worst thing you could do. Now, am I with you though, in the sense that I think if a third-party organizer hosted one, would it be a great success? I would say yes. I think most people would thoroughly enjoy that as long as the organizer knew what they're doing. But the problem is if RLCS goes out of their way to do it, like the biggest thing is like shipping stuff. So that's why I'm saying a third-party organizer, like somebody who's already in Japan or an organizer who's already over there. Now, I will show this as well because we're talking about venues and arenas and stuff like this, which I kind of forgot, but I need to show this as well. This is important. So I forgot to give this context, but also another thing people didn't like specifically was that the Fortnite Championship Series Global Championship for 2024 is officially announced for Fort Worth, Texas in September. Well, that's weird, actually. Fort Worth, Texas. Isn't that exactly where the Rocket League Championship Series is? The RLCS? Isn't that where Fort Worth, Texas is? Well, let's just... If you double check the dates, I believe the Fortnite Championship Series is actually 1 week before. Hey, that's also weird. It says right here, Dickey's Arena. Isn't something else going on in Dickey's Arena? September 7th and 8th at Dickey's Arena is the Fortnite World Championship. September 10th through 15th is the Rocket League World Championship in Dickey's Arena. It's also 5 days longer than the Fortnite World Championship, which is interesting. But I guess a bunch of BRs, you can just get a bunch of players in one go. Makes it easier to have less days. But a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people were like, oh, Fortnite taking over my Rocket League. No, they're just trying to put it all together. But there's actually an incredibly reasonable reason why they would have them in the same exact place during the same exact week in the same exact time period. It's because it's expensive to ship stuff. Production has to ship stuff, and you ship it across the globe, ship it across the world, and you get these big shipping containers, and then you just shoot them off everywhere. Like they don't just like build a random stage, you know, with like whatever leftovers they got at the arena. They kind of like bring their own stuff and their lights and technologicals and all that stuff. And also I would assume if you are booking a venue for a week, an entire week or a week and a half, it's probably cheaper. You probably get a discounted rate for doing something like that. Oh, now there's another thing as well that has gone on. I feel like this one kind of snuck in a little bit. Maybe not a lot of people saw this. Maybe a lot of people did. But they made a small format change. And I wouldn't say this is a big deal. It's a W nonetheless. So you got to give a W when a W is to be had. In NA and EU, they changed it so that best of fives are played all the way in top 192 of the qualifiers. If you're in top 192, you will now play a best of 5, which before that, it was top 48. Top 64 or whatever, we're playing best of 3s. And once you got the top 48, it was best of 5s, which is horrible for a double bracket qualification. Your entire career on the line in one weekend, and you get a best of 3 to lose it. It's pretty tough, I will say. So now the qualifiers will take just a little bit longer, and that competitive integrity, well, I don't say integrity, the competition quality is much better. There's a better chance you get the teams that deserve it when you kind of extend it. You give more time to play and see how things play out. So small dub, but a dub nonetheless. If only there were some spots that were guaranteed, perhaps the top 8, then we wouldn't have to worry about good teams getting upset. Yeah, I feel like that'd be pretty good, but I don't think anybody would ever think about something like that. So I think we could just ignore it for now. Maybe we could have like 3 majors, up the prize pool by about like 40%. Nah, that'd be dumb. That'd be stupid. That'd be really dumb, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. I got a couple more things for you guys. We talked about the perception of the major. People said it was great. Esports fans said it was great. The Reddit said it was great. The matches were fantastic. Lots of competition. All that good stuff. No epic failures on the side of, well, epic and production. Nothing like that. And it also actually did great viewership-wise. Even though I would say a lot of what Epic has done to the esport has been negative. You know, over the course of the past 6-7 months, they were rewarded. They were rewarded with higher viewership numbers. The major one peaked at 434,669 viewers. And we can take a peek. So the peak viewers right there, you can see. And that was during Casey versus Gentlemates, which was the semifinal. And then during the grand finals, they actually went down about 50,000 viewers, which you could probably attribute to Kometo. Would be my best guess. It was the French versus the French, the creator versus the creator. Massive. Absolute fight to the death. And so that was the big match. And then they had G2 versus Gentlemates, and G2 is just not as big. So the viewership fell off a little bit. And yeah, they had a total of 30 hours of airtime, which is actually a lot shorter than previous majors. And that's maybe because their Saturdays are very short. But they only had 30 hours of airtime, then 159,000 viewers. And it was fantastic. And so you're probably wondering, okay, but how did this compare to a lot of other events? And it actually compares incredibly well. This was their second most viewed event. In terms of peak viewership. So they did incredible. Their last peak viewership was actually last year. Or the most peak viewership was last year, 468. So it's actually just like 30,000 higher at the World Championship. Keep that in mind. This is the major. And it did this incredible. And of course, the last World Championship, the highest viewed one was Vitality versus KC, the French versus the French. Now the highest viewed one this time is the French versus the French. They got their second highest peak viewership ever during this event. That's pretty good. Thought the game was dying, but... yeah, I thought it was dying as well. That's one of the things, though, is, you know, one of their best things is their esport. That's the one thing that's keeping this string alive. It's like the Gucci bag, bro. Just let it go, bro. Just let it go. Damn, now they're gonna keep doing the same stuff. Yeah. No amount of epic fuckery can stop the game from being fun to watch. That is the worst part, too.